Okay. So, we need to talk about project diagrams today and basic elements of scheduling. So, a project diagram is the process of you starting your day. So, let's see. Derek, out of these 7 things, what's the first thing you do in the morning?
Brush my teeth.
You brush your teeth.
You don't wake up?
You don't wake up first?
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh yeah.
Derek first wakes up, so he does number 1. After he wakes up, what do? You brush your teeth. Then what do?
Take a shower.
You take a shower.
Then I get dressed.
Then you get dressed.
Pack the book bag.
Pack up your book bag.
And I go to school.
Then you go to school. You don't eat breakfast in the morning?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay, so this is Derek's morning. Peter, give me your morning.
So wake up,
Peter wakes up,
I take a shower,
takes a shower,
brush my teeth,
brushes teeth,
eat my breakfast,
you eat your breakfast,
I get dressed.
you get dressed. Oh, you eat breakfast naked. All right.
Hey, y'all want to know my morning?
All right, continue.
I don't pack my school bags, I just leave it in the car. So then I just go to school.
So you just go to school. That's a team act last year too. You guys. I don't pack my bag because it never gets unpacked. That's it. Come on now. Okay, so everybody has their own different process. However, there are some things that just have to be done before others. Okay, no one is going to get up, get dressed, and then take a shower.
So it's like,
My sister did that one.
how much you want to bet?
My sister did that. She got dressed, literally walked into the bathroom, got undressed, took a shower, and then came back in the same clothes.
So Thomas's sister is special.
Okay.
Okay. But the whole idea of this is there are some things that just need to be done before others. Think about it. You wreck your car. Okay? So you want to fix your car. Are you gonna paint it brand new before you fix the dents in it? No, that's stupid. You'd fix up all the problems first and then you put a fresh coat of paint on it. You're not gonna paint it and then sit there and bang out all the dents. You're gonna screw up the paint job.
I've seen somebody do that.
Again, Josue, you're special.
Nice.
So yes, you would be the person that would paint it first and then bang out all the dents.
My sister would do that.
Okay.
I want to get that rust.
So the idea of a project diagram is to show you what needs to come first, then what needs to be done second, what needs to be done third, and how I can finish off. So on your test, you're going to see something similar to this project diagram. Okay, so every project diagram has to have a start. Okay, you've got to have a start. I was just going from my remote. Okay. Your start will always go to the tasks that don't need anything done first. So, in this type of thing, the projects that can be done without anything before them are the ones where this is blank over here. So, in this instance, from the start, I can work on task X or I can work on task Y. Nothing has to be done before X or Y. So now we need to build off of these tasks according to what they tell me. So X, according to this, X has to be done before what? What does X lead to? W and U. Okay, so once I complete task X, I can go ahead and I can complete task W, or I can go ahead and complete task U. Once I put it on my graph, I cross it off to make sure that I don't repeat it, or I make sure that I put it on my graph. You do not want to leave anything off. It's going to cause a problem. Did you finish your posters? No? What are you doing? Stephanie, what is their problem?
What is happening?
She can't even look at me. She's like dying over here. All right. Task Y. What does task Y have to be done before? V. Okay, so Y leads to task V and U. Have I completed all of my tasks?
I think so, Ms. Smith.
Yes, we've crossed them all off. We are finished.
Or did you just create?
Everything that starts has to have an ending. Okay.
Oh, this class is special. I love you all.
Okay. Every task that doesn't lead into something else, so in other words, any task that doesn't have an arrow coming out of it will lead to the end. So if you look at my graph, X leads out, Y leads out, W does not. So W will go to the end. U has nothing coming out, so it will go to the end. V has nothing coming out, so it will go to the end. You just drew a project diagram.
Whoa.
Ta-da! This is crazy, bro.
That's insane.
I'm gonna put these girls in a bubble back here. They did the giggles today. Miss Superling has a group of girls. She calls them the birds because all they do is sit there and chuckle all period long. They sound like little birds. Okay? Uh-oh. I gave you a bigger one. All right, so we need a start. Okay? You said B, D, and E. Sienna says start goes to B, start goes to D, and start goes to E.
Whoa, wait.
Again, your start will always go to the tasks that have nothing leading into them. Okay, so because these three tasks are blank here, they are my starting points.
Okay.
Okay, so now I start at the top to make sure I do them all. What does B go to? B goes to C, B
B
to C.
and then E to C.
Hold on. Do all of your B's. What else does B go to?
G.
G and F. So B is going to go to F, B is going to go to G. So it goes to F, and it goes to G. Okay. You good?
Hold on now.
Okay. So again, I do all of my B's. Then I move on and I do all of my D's. What should D lead to?
G.
G. So I don't have to draw another G. I just have to draw an arrow from D to G. Okay, then I move on to E. What does E go to?
C.
All the way up to C. E to C. Okay, so we took care of B, we took care of D, we took care of E.
Let's do C.
So now I'm going to go down this one. What does C go to?
A.
C goes to A. Doesn't matter where you put A as long as there's an arrow that goes from C to A.
And then you're going to put F to A.
Okay, F goes to A.
I don't like the way this looks.
Mine
goes
looks
to
kinda
H.
rough.
That's why you're confusing.
F goes to
H.
H, so I need an H.
And then G goes to H.
And G goes to H.
So that means H will be our end.
Once all of these are crossed off,
You need to finish.
I need a finish or an end.
H.
What are going to my end this time?
H. A.
H and A. Everything that has no arrows coming out of it will go to your end. Do y'all care if I put the fan on?
It's gonna get complicated.
This is my homework.
Did you?
Yeah.
Buried in the book bag?
You can.
AKA he just did it.
Go that win.
Oh, yours was in your book bag too?
Yeah.
It's not full bag, not done.
Okay, let's see what you can do with this word problem. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Yeah, real pro actually works.
Tap on my head.
There's no rules around there. There's no.
Okay,
Damn.
I want you to read this word problem carefully. See if you can figure out what tasks need to be done first, what tasks need to be done second. Okay, you got a little bit of room in between the problem you did before and that problem. Oh, don't be a whiner, Peter.
Give us some more room.
Extra space. I really don't got no room. You see the?
Yeah.
I do it on
We got some room. No, you can't do it there. We're doing something else there. No, sorry. Gotta talk about something else.
Fair right there.
Gucci man.
You better write extra small, squeeze it in.
Tell them black copies of it.
So nice.
Tell what I have.
So it says you have one 10-minute program, one 12-minute, one 20-minute, and two 7 minutes. Okay, so right now what you have is this. You've got a 12-minute, you've got a 12-minute, you've got a 10-minute, you've got a 7, and a 20. This is what you have. So we can draw yourself a chart. Okay. So it says the 20-minute program requires that both 7 minutes are finished before starting. So what leads to what in that sentence?
20 goes to 7.
What needs to be done first? The 7-minute programs. So 7 leads to 20, 7 leads to 20. Okay, when it says the 20-minute program requires both 7 minutes to be completed first, that means 7 leads into 20. Okay, then it says the 10-minute program cannot be started until the 12-minute program has been completed. So what leads into what for this one?
10 leads to 12.
10 leads to 12. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot.
What? You been like that?
10 leads to 12, I did. 7 leads to 20, and 7 leads to 20. Okay, so now that I have this filled out, what program should start first?
Obviously,
My 10 and my 2 7s are all the ones that lead from the start.
Oh, yeah, you wrote it down. My bad.
Yeah, I did. 10, my 7, and my 7.
So we counted them out.
Okay, so then it says 10 leads into 12, and both of my 7s lead into my 20. So then 20 leads into my end, and 12 leads into my end.
Ain't that bad.
The part that people get confused on is this section here. When it says the 20-minute program requires both 7 minutes program to be finished before starting. For some reason, that shuts everybody down. So you can figure out how many programs you have, and then you can't decipher what it's saying. Okay? So take it one sentence at a time. Okay, one sentence at a time. Questions? Okay. So I like that this example's up here next because it's college application week. So list me some things that you need to do in order to apply or attend college.
Now you're saying.
Cry,
We need to fill out that application.
go in debt.
No, first you need to do your RDS.
Hold
then
on.
do your FAFSA.
First you
Just list me things. We're not worried about what comes
Debt.
first. So RDS,
Debt.
FAFSA.
FAFSA.
That was real aggressive. Well, you don't like debt?
What else do we need?
Student loans.
Loans,
That's debt.
Scholarships.
scholarships.
Okay. Hey, we're talking about college here.
I can't tell you how many of these I've been asked to do.
Recommendations.
Recommendations.
I would ask you to do mine, but you ain't.
Nah,
do my
but you
teacher
probably
rate.
hate
What do you do?
It makes you look better.
What, teacher recommendations?
Right.
Some colleges actually ask for them. Some
Makes you
do.
look better.
Some mandate that you actually get recommendations. Because I just got
Where do you
one.
apply to?
Corinna Spikes just asked me for one. Somebody else just asked me.
I asked Miss Huddins to do one.
So normally you want the teachers that have known you the longest.
Right.
They're the
You-
easiest ones to be able to write.
You're right. It's like Mr. Estrada.
I've taught Princess for years. I could write hers. I've taught DeLon for years. I could write his. You, I really just know this year.
Right.
While I can write one, I can't really expand on it like some of your other teachers.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Nobody here.
you want to go back, and your English teachers are the best ones to write because
they got that.
they
like,
good.
I don't like none of them.
Half the time I write mine and then I
I
take it to
haven't
Miss
taken
Horner and I'm
My
like, can you
English
read
teachers
this?
I got screwed over.
Mine's
I hadn't taken like none of these teachers here know me and none of the ones that say
If anybody needs one from Miss Baldwin, I have ways
Yeah.
to get in contact
Oh, yeah.
with her.
She my mentor.
She would gladly write you one. She's actually going painting with me tonight. So
I seen
Miss
her
Baldwin would be
McDonald's
glad to write
yesterday.
you one if you need her to write
come
you
to
one.
Ocean View tonight.
Okay.
Go out to eat.
We're going to Char's.
Go to Ocean
I
View.
need to come back
I
to
didn't know. I didn't
McDonald's.
know that was
We're going to Char's because we're going at 5 and we have painting at 6.
Fries and a milkshake.
So loans, scholarships.
I'm not gonna start school.
How about we pass high school?
Get your high school diploma.
She needed a diploma. Okay.
Oh,
So-
I got you.
Alicia said the key words before we even did this. She said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Before you even do your application, you have to have your RDS first. Okay, this is the problem with scheduling. Is some stuff has to be done before you can do others.
I like that fast one stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, but like.
'Cause I mean, all that.
so some of you can fill out your applications, you can have your RDS, you can have all that done. And come May, if you don't walk across that stage, you can say, bye-bye, college.
Oh, I forgot. You
Not
need your
going.
SAT and your ACT.
Okay, your SAT and your ACT. Some schools require it. Like I said, I never took the ACT, ever.
DCCC don't do it.
My high school did not, or my college did not require an ACT score. I took SAT.
Oh.
I went to Seton Hill University. All they required was an SAT. They did not require an ACT.
What's your GPA?
A lot of schools in North Carolina require the ACT because the state of North Carolina pays for you to take it.
What was your GPA in high school?
My GPA in high school,
Yeah.
3.6.
Oh, wait.
I had a 3.8 in college in my undergraduate, and I had a 4.0 as a graduate student.
I'm actually helping college.
I'm asking for help when I get to college.
I'm telling you, when you go off to college, when you're stuck in that math class and going, you better find me on Facebook, email me, something, I got you.
No, I will come to this school. Right.
If I have to like give you my cell phone number, you walk across that stage, so you got me.
You gotta do that.
I got you. Okay.
I'm about to hold her like, all
And
right,
you
Miss
show
Smith.
up at 3:30 to get tutored at the end of the day while I'm tutoring other kids. I will gladly help you.
Yo, I will. I will.
Okay.
I'll go. Can you get an iPhone FaceTime? 40-year-old man. Hey, Miss Smith.
I just got done telling Dewan yesterday I was about to buy an iPhone 11.
Yeah, you need to get that fucking FaceTime. You might put them out together.
Right. And I ain't gonna have time to come on.
I'm just gonna set up my iPhone and get a whiteboard for home. All right, what's your next problem? Let's do this
We
together.
can do group FaceTime too.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, so Alicia came up with a great point. We have issues of scheduling in real life where we have different tasks that need to be completed at different times or before other things. So that's what we're going to talk about in the theme of the rest of the chapter. What needs to be done first? So how long is it going to take me to get from this, the start, all the way to the end? Okay. What's it going to take? Where did I hide my remote now? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Did you hide it in his pocket?
Oh, did I? Yeah, whatever. I got an arrow. There you go. All right. So we have some basics that we need to talk about today, and then not tomorrow, Tuesday. Because Monday I'm giving you the day to work on chapter 7.
You should get
Can I whoop?
Tuesday we will finish
Can I whoop?
chapter 8. Go ahead.
Woo! That was a good one, too.
Now that he got it out of his system. Okay, so we have some things called processors. Your processors are the workers. Your processors are your workers.
Oh, and don't let Shauna fool you.
Woo!
She a little talker. She a little something.
Is she?
She
So-
was going off at work yesterday.
Who carries out the work? So basically, who does the job? Okay, so if you go to McDonald's, Alicia is a processor. She works at McDonald's. She carries out the work. She rings you up on the cash register. She makes the burgers. Whatever her job is for that night, she is the processor. If you go to Ocean View, Peter is the processor. He works at Ocean View. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a number of processors. Okay. You can have P sub 1, which is processor 1. P sub 2 is processor 2. That can continue on. You can have 70 processors. Okay. So the P stands for processor, and the number that goes with it tells you what processor you're talking about. Okay. These processors complete tasks. Indivisible units of work. When I wrote that last period, they said the only time I ever remember that word is in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Indivisible. If I take away the word in, what does divisible mean?
Divided.
Divided. Indivisible. Cannot be divided. So the Pledge of Allegiance actually talks about an allegiance that cannot be divided. They're saying that the U.S. is this big allegiance that cannot be divided. I'm sorry, if you look at the world right now, we are quite divided. Okay. So, what this is saying is each task cannot be divided between different processors. So, if I tell Thomas that he's going to go and he's going to fix an engine, he's the only one that's allowed to work on that engine. He can't call in recruitments from Sierra and say, hey, come help me with this. No. Whatever task I assign to Thomas is Thomas's task and his task only. Okay?
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to drop it on my foot.
Use the stove.
Okay, so they call the task by letters. So they'll call it, you're going to have task A, task B, task C, so on and so forth. Okay, that's how they call your tasks.
Alrighty.
Times DEFC.
All right.
ABC.
Okay. So your states of your task. Okay. Your task can be completed, which means the processor has started and what blank am I missing there? Finished.
Oh, okay.
Anybody can do that.
Okay. Completed means the task has been started, it has been worked on, and it's done. So completed means that we're done.
Finished.
I'm done.
Everything live as well as in the.
Somebody say,
Oh, thank you. Okay, a task can be what we call in execution.
It started but not finished.
Okay, so processor has started and is still working on the task. So it's being worked on. Are you all right there? Right. You got some issues over there.
I think it's that shirt.
it's too tight. It's something.
These papers are flying.
I'll say these papers are flying.
They're flying away.
I believe I can fly.
I believe I can touch the sky.
I think about it every
Night and day. All right, you got this song stuck in my head now. Okay, what does it mean if my task is ready?
It's ready because the prerequisites have been completed.
So, ready means it can be started because all prerequisites have been completed. So, the way I think about ready is I go back to NASCAR. So you're ready. You're sitting at that start line, and you've got your engine going, and you're just sitting there. You're like, come on, say go, say go, say go, say go. Okay, so being ready means you're at the starting line, you're ready to hit that gas and go. Okay? What does it mean to be ineligible?
Not be able to start.
You're not able to start. So, ineligible means you cannot be started because some prerequisites have not been completed. Okay? So,
What about a number? Some number of prerequisites.
it's some number. So, in other words, if we go back to NASCAR, let's say you've got your oil changed, your gas in, everything's ready to go, but you've got a flat tire.
What about?
Okay? You're ineligible. You're all ready to go except that flat tire. We got to fix that first.
That flat tire.
So, your car is ineligible until you get that tire fixed. Does that make sense? I'm going to split this up because every time I do the task of getting a license, we always get into an argument. So, we're going to skip this.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about baking a cake.
First, gotta go just get your car.
Okay. Baking a cake. So we're going to try to figure out what makes me ineligible to bake a cake,
Not being
what
bored.
makes me ready to bake the cake, when am I in execution, and when am I finished. So, if I am ineligible to bake a cake, where am I at? What do I need? I need to go shopping. I better go get some ingredients.
Sugar, some flour.
I need to get my ingredients.
Yes.
Okay? When I'm ready to bake my cake, what am I doing? Preheating the oven. What else am I doing? We have to preheat. What else do we have to do?
Pretty
Put everything
make
together.
look at the packaging. What?
Put everything together.
Mix everything together.
And struckins.
In order to be ready to bake my cake, I had better have mixed my eggs and my batter and my flour, whatever. So I better mix ingredients.
You better, yeah, exactly.
If my cake is in execution, what's it doing?
It's
It's in the oven baking.
Into oven.
So we're in oven baking.
Bake it bits.
Oven.
And when I'm completed, what do I have?
Okay.
Yeah, cake.
Depending on what type of cake.
Got that
I don't know, I'm thinking like red velvet with some cream
Whoa.
cheese.
Whoa.
frosting.
Oh, you just say, hey, complete, you got an ice cake.
Oh, yes, completed cake that is iced.
I'm doing cake.
So, this is the whole process that you have to do to bake a cake. Okay? I can't just take a cake and pop it in the oven.
I mean, you can, but probably not well.
I mean, you can, but I mean, if you just stick some eggs and some flour in a bowl and pop it in the oven, I don't think it's gonna taste very good. Okay? You would. You would.
We got unpaid.
This is it. Last thing.
Woo! Everybody says this is it.
This would be well. What are your favorite class?
Some days.
Every day.
This is it.
You like us every day more than your freshman?
Hey, facts.
Facts.
You ain't never lied.
Okay, processing times.
This has become like a second.
Well.
Okay, processing times. The amount of time without interruption required by one processor to execute a given task. So they're going to tell you, I'm going to come down here to notation. They're going to tell you the task X, and then beside X, they're going to put a 4. This means that when you start task X, it's going to take you 4 hours or 4 minutes or 4 days, whatever they're telling you is your measurement of time. So the 4 represents the time that it takes to complete the task. Okay. So we have to assume 3 things about our processing times. Okay. The first one is versatility. Okay. Which means any processor can execute any task. Okay. So when I said that Thomas is going to work on an engine, and he said, I ain't about to work on no engine, I'm going to drop it on my foot. Okay. According to this, no matter what I tell you to do, you can do it. If I say, Miss Smith's going to run 10 miles.
Big cow.
I don't think anybody-
Woo! I don't know about that one, but according to this, because it says I can do it, I sure as heck am going to do it.
You want a cabinet?
For what?
You running at 10 miles. I can't even run 10 miles.
Okay. So, according to this, anybody can do anything. Okay. There is no task that is too difficult for somebody to do.
Only 60 pounds.
Yes. So if I say that Thomas is going to put on a cape and he's going to fly across the city, guess what? Thomas is going to put on a cape and he's going to fly across the city.
Thomas the Tank Engine, you know? That's funny. I don't know if you intentionally did that, but it was funny.
I don't think anybody.
Thomas the Train.
Okay. So all of your tasks are uniform as well. So this says that the processing time for the task is the same regardless of the processor. So if I say that Malik's going to work on task B and it takes 4 hours, it's going to take Malik 4 hours. If I tell Amber she's going to do it, guess what? It's going to take Amber 4 hours. It'll take Sierra 4 hours. It'll take Alicia 4 hours. No matter who I put there, it will take them the same amount of time. Okay? So, no one is faster than anyone else. Okay? There is no competition in this. So that's the biggest thing. Everybody's kind of equal and the same in this. Okay.
Who is West?
Kanye West.
Everybody.
So the last one is.
Okay. The last one says that we're going to persevere. So we are going to complete tasks without interruption. Okay. So this means if Derek starts a task and that task is gonna take him 7 hours, he doesn't get a break. He's gonna work for 7 hours straight.
That's like,
Okay.
that's labor
There's
law.
no potty breaks. There's no cigarette breaks. There's no resting for the weary.
No, rest is a witch. On it all grow on trees.
Okay. Labor laws.
Bills to pay. You're on balance sheet.
I feel like
Water.
We have somebody working.
Miss Mickey, touch me too. Y'all want to talk to me.
No, we've got to finish this page. Listen, y'all just keep chatting. And no offense, but I went back and graded chapter 7 test for 3rd period. They are blowing y'all out of the water because this class will not stop talking
But we have
and focus. I don't care. Their grades are starting to throw y'all under the bus. I thought we were better than that. We get a little too carried away. A little bit. Okay, so this is the last piece for today. President relations. Formal restrictions on the order that tasks can be executed. Okay, so when they're talking president's relations, they're talking prereqs.
Wait, what? What does that say?
Prerequisites.
Oh, I thought that Drake. I was like, what?
It's a deep word. Prerequisites.
It's like when you have to take foods one before you take food two, so food one's a prerequisite.
Yes. Okay. So these go back to like your CTE classes. In order to take foods 2, you must take foods 1. In order to move on to math 3, you had better pass math 1 and math 2. Okay. So to write this, they will write X leads to Y. So graphically, this notation looks like this. X leads to Y. So this means, excuse me, that task X must be completed before task Y can be started. So tell me this, if I start task X at noon, okay, if I start task X at noon, and it takes me 5 hours to complete, when can I start task Y?
Hour 5:01.
5:01, 5 o'clock. As soon as I'm done with X, I can move on to Y. But I can't start task Y at 4 o'clock because I'm not done with X yet. That make sense?
Exacto mundo.
Okay. Your tasks can be independent, which means any task can start at any time. Okay. So every task is independent. You can work on both at the same time.
Whoa.
Okay, both tasks can be worked on at the same time because they don't lead into each other. So that would be like, since we were talking subjects, because that's a great way to look at this. So that would be like task X is math 1. And task Y is civics. I can take math 1 and civics at the same time. They don't lead into each other. Okay? I can take them at the same time. So independently, they're just dots on the graph. They don't lead into each other. There's no arrows that connect them. Okay? A task can be transitive. Okay? So it says if X leads into Y and Y leads into Z, then X leads into Z. So let's look at this again. So X is math 1. Y would be math 2, and Z would be math 3.
Yay.
So math 1 leads into math 2 leads into math 3. So in all reality, I had better complete math 1 before I complete mat 3.
Exactly what the. I don't like you all said.
So if 1 leads into 2 and 2 leads into 3, then 1 has to be completed before 3 can be completed. Because it's a prerequisite for 2.
Dude, thanks.
The last thing we need to talk about is a cycle.
Really?
A cycle means I really have no starting point. X would lead into Y, Y leads into Z, okay? It just goes around in a big old circle. So, X leads into Y, Y leads into W, W leads into Z, and Z takes me right back to the beginning.
That's like cycle.
So that's a cycle because it just keeps leading back around and around and around and around. So, in other words, in a cycle, there's no starting point. So technically, there's no prereqs. Okay? There's no prereqs. The way I think about this is, has anybody brought up what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, what came first? The egg grows into a chicken, and the chicken has to lay the egg to get a chicken. So which came first?
Chicken.
The eggs. We don't
But where'd you get the chicken from?
God,
We don't know.
God just said, poof, chicken.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, how does it come about? How did you get a chicken? How did we get an egg if we didn't have a chicken? How do we get a chicken if we don't have an egg?
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. It is a mystery.
See, that was-